Today I will take topic number 3 in energy conservation and management, that is heat recovery, waste heat recovery. As I have told you in my beginning lecture in introduction part, that waste heat recovery is the heat which is available after the main process in the industry or in any installation, when heat is used for main purpose for producing steam or for any other process. Main heat utilization takes place after that. There are certain heat available which is exhausted to atmosphere because of not recovery. If we recover this heat with the help of some arrangement, then we can say that this heat can be utilized for second process. So in this particular case, one simple example is that in a spongy iron manufacturing unit, it is estimated that if waste heat recovery is used after manufacturing of spongy iron, then about 3 crores rupees can be saved for production of electrical energy per year. Means whatever waste heat remain, if you utilize it for producing electricity, then we can produce electricity worth rupees 3 crores rupees per year. This is an example in the industry for use of waste heat. So waste heat mainly require two parameter. One is the quality of heat and second is the quantity of heat. So quality of heat should be such that it can yield maximum conversion of thermal energy to the second process. Here when we see that the knowledge of quality of heat loss is required to identify where it should be reused. One, and from maintaining good quality of production and achievement of the good efficiency in productivity. So if this particular heat which is remain after the main function or the main purpose of production, after that this heat collected quantity wise and quality wise. If quantity wise and quality wise, if this heat is good, then we can use this heat for the second purpose of manufacturing. Second purpose of manufacturing maybe depends upon the type of industry in which this particular heat is to be used. So here there is a formula for quantity of heat, that is given by Q is equal to V multiplied by rho multiplied by Cp multiplied by delta T. So where Q is the heat contained in kilocalorie and V is the flow rate of the substance in meter cube per hour, rho is the density of the flue gas in kg per meter is cube, and Cp is the specific heat of the substance in kilocalorie per kilogram degree centigrade, and delta T is the temperature difference in degree centigrade. So for calculation of heat in a process, this particular formula is used, that how much quantity of heat can be recovered from any system as a waste heat. So we should know the parameter flow of the substance, that is from which heat is produced, then density of the flue gases or the substance which is flowing, then specific heat of the substance and the temperature difference that we require, or we can obtain the temperature difference. So there is a formula by which we can quantify or calculated the waste heat recovery in the system. Now there are direct and indirect benefit of waste heat recovery system. So first we will discuss direct benefits of heat recovery system, in which first is efficiency of the process is increased, second is the reduction in process cost, and third is the reduction in the process time. These are the three direct benefit of heat recovery. Second, indirect benefits, in which reduction in waste. First point. Second point, reduction in pollution, because whatever heat or flue gases will go to the atmosphere, then it will spoil the environment. So reduction in the pollution, then reduction in equipment size and numbers. If we use recovery of the heat, recovery of the heat used for other process, then in this we can reduce the number of equipments and number of the size of the equipments for that purpose. Then next indirect benefit of the heat recovery is the reduction in auxiliary energy consumption. Auxiliary energy consumption can be reduced by this heat recovery system. Then next point is the reduction in staff or labor cost or overhead cost. So whenever we use this heat which is obtained from the main process, then you do not require additional manpower for utilizing this heat, and you do not require additional staff or labor for that, or overhead expenses are also reduced. So these are the direct and indirect benefit of the waste heat recovery system. Now there are the points where we have to various factor we have to discuss directly or indirectly related to the cost of waste heat. Directly or indirectly, those points or factors which are related to the waste heat recovery system, that first is the disposable cost or disposal cost. So disposal cost is that if heat is not recovered and it is not utilized for other purpose, then disposal of this heat is very difficult. So disposal cost will involve, that will increase the cost in the industry for total cost of the industry in manufacturing process. So disposal cost is one factor. Then second is the market value of the waste material or scrap. This is also one of the cost which is to be calculated. Whatever scrap material is obtained in the process of manufacturing, if waste heat recover is not utilized to use of this scrap material with the help of this recovered heat, then it will also affect the market value of the product. Then third is the production cost of the waste material. The production cost of waste material is also calculated in this if it is heat recovery is not done in the process. Then fourth is the energy cost used for waste material. So for waste material utilization, we required some certain energy. So this energy is also obtained from the waste heat. And if it is recovered waste heat from the main process, then cost will definitely reduce for processing of waste material. Then the time cost or time spent on the waste. This is also one factor in which we have to calculate the time which is wasted in recovery of the heat from the main process, and what time is spent for that. So this is also indirectly affect the cost of the main product. Then next point is the opportunity cost or lost revenue for what could have been product instead of the waste. Now this point says that if waste product is utilized for manufacturing of some other material from the main process, then this will reduce the total cost of production of the main product also. So this point says that opportunity cost, and this opportunity cost can be obtained from the waste heat production and its utilization for the production of the secondary product in the main manufacturing unit. Now here some points for calculating of waste heat is minimum possible, that calculation of waste heat should be minimum as possible. Minimum as possible means maximum we try to use the main heat for the main process, but if there is a heat loss in quantity wise, it is minimum, then naturally we can control the cost of the main product or main production of heat by the any source. So there is a minimum possible quantity that should be utilized for as a waste heat for the second line production. So here waste minimization can be defined as the symmetrical reducing waste at source. Means if you apply certain activities or certain process or certain steps so that the possibility of waste heat is reduced to minimum, then whatever other steps to be taken for recovery of the waste heat, it can also become economical, because the source at which we are getting waste heat, we are minimizing this waste heat from the main source, and when it is minimized, so definitely all the equipment or all the additional arrangement required for recovery of this heat, it can be reduced up to maximum extent. Now for recovery of heat, there are certain types of devices are there which are known as commercial waste heat recovery devices. So waste heat recovery devices, in which we have first recuperators. Recuperators, they are three types. One is metallic radiation recuperator, second is convective recuperator, or it is also called tube type recuperator, and third is radiation or convectivity hybrid recuperator. Means in this particular recuperator, both process of radiation conduction and radiation process can be used in a combination. That's why it is also called hybrid recuperator. So radiation and convection, both process are used in this hybrid recuperator. So these are the main three types of recuperator. Then second is a main type, that is a ceramic recuperator, in which there are certain other equipments are coming under the heading of this ceramic recuperator, in which one is heat exchanger, second is heat generator, third is heat wheels, fourth is heat pipes, then heat pipe, after heat pipe it is economizer, then plate heat exchanger, then run around coil exchanger, then waste heat boilers, then heat pumps and thermocompressors. So these are the other devices which are coming under ceramic recuperators. So according to scope of your syllabus, we have to discuss recuperators of main type, that is coming under metallic and ceramic both, and we will provide you the diagram separately for this, and some points which are important for the metallic recuperators I will give you. note down these points, that depending upon the method of heat transfer, it can be classified as recuperator, that is metallic recuperator, can be classified into three categories depending upon the method of heat transfer. So first is metallic radiation, second is convectivity, and third is combined, that is the hybrid, in which radiation and convection both processes are used for heat transfer. So these are the three types of recuperator which are coming under metallic recuperator, and depends upon the method of transfer of heat. Then metallic recuperator must take into account some profits, some points for design and selection. So for selection and design of the metallic recuperator, we have to consider certain points, and these points are one by one I will speak to you. That one is the temperature of waste gases. We have to measure what is the temperature of waste gases first. Second is desired air oblique fuel gas preheat. For preheat, what type of media you use, whether air or flue gas. This is to be decided whenever we have to design a metallic recuperator. Then initial cost and maintenance cost. Then if you will design a metallic recuperator, then in this the main cost, that is installation cost or initial cost, and second is the maintenance cost. These are important for the design factor. Then next point is the operating pressure and permissible pressure drops in the recuperator system. Now permissible pressure, that is the operating pressure at which the recuperator is operate. That pressure we should be calculate or at the time of design of recuperator, and then we have to find out the permissible pressure drop. How much pressure can be dropped in the recuperator for the utilization of that waste heat which is coming in the recuperator or it is obtained from the recuperator. Then live furnace and reliability. So live furnace reliability is that in which we have to see that whatever recuperator you have designed, what is its total duration of service. The total duration of service depends upon its use and its design. So we have to also find out initially that one recuperator, if it designed, then how much time it will run in the system. So its lifetime or durability we can say. So normally recuperator are designed for 5 years, 10 years, and they work for continuously process in the industry for that time, and after that that is a deterioration takes place in the parts of the recuperator, and because of heat, and this will be have to replace in partially or in some cases when it is totally damaged by this due to heat, then you have to change the recuperator. So there is a fixed lifetime also there, that is also decide at the time of designing of the recuperator. Now causes of failure of metallic recuperator. Recuperator, how it fails means after its working in the system for a particular period of time, then what are the reasons due to which a recuperator fail. So there are 4-5 reasons are there, in which first is the oxidation. Oxidation means whenever heat waste heat we obtain from the main source, then requirement for heat production is that burning material, that is the flue gases or the radiations from where the from which we are getting the waste heat. Oxygen is required also for the burning process. So wherever parts of the recuperator coming in contact with the heat, then there is a process of oxidation takes place, and this due to oxidation the vapor and carbon dioxide present in the waste gases, oxidation takes place at high temperature, and because of this the part of recuperator also reach to a high temperature up to 500 degrees Celsius, and due to this high temperature that cause the deterioration in the parts due to oxidation. Then second is sulfur attack. Every gas which is obtained or flue gases obtained from the main process of burning of coal, it contains the sulfur oxides of sulfur. So sulfur attack, it depends on the nature of gases, temperature of gases, and wall temperature and the metal used in the heat exchanging surface. In heat exchanging surface, what type of metal you are using, that is also important for sulfur attack. So sulfur, again, it is a chemical, so that oxide of the sulfur, it will attack on the surface of the transfer of heat, and that can corrode the surface of the heat transfer. So this is called sulfur attack. So this is also to be calculated properly or designed properly, that the sulfur attack on the system, it should be minimized. It means that you have to reduce the content of the oxides of sulfur in the incoming flue gases through which we are transferring heat from the main process to the second process. Then high temperature corrosion. Then corrosion may occur due to high temperature. In recuperator, it is seen that the temperature it take place in metal temperature recuperator, the range of about 680 degrees centigrade is the temperature of the metallic recuperator. So it is advisable to maintain the metal wall temperature of the range in the recuperator up to 600 degrees centigrade. Means maximum temperature you can get from the source, it is about 680 degree, but you have to design the metallic recuperator in such a way that the internal walls of the recuperator, it should be sustained or withstand with the temperature up to maximum 600 degrees Celsius, and for that you have to take the necessary thermal insulation or whatever type of process to be done for the internal part of the recuperator, that you should do. Then next point is the cracking and leakage in heat exchanging part. Whatever heat exchanging parts we are using in the recuperator, we have to see that heat leakage is not taking place in that. If heat leakage taking place in those parts, then what happen, the efficiency of the recuperator will get down, so its effective utilization will be suffer. Means whatever expense we have done for installation of a recuperator, and if leakages are not controlled in those parts, then cracking and leakage, it will cause the loss of this recovered heat in the middle of the process, and that will cause the costing of the recuperator is more, because it efficiency reduce. Efficiency reduce, it means that for which you have designed the recuperator for the process, and if you are not getting the proper quantity of heat according to design of the recuperator, then this loss will increase, and loss will increase due to leakage and crackings of those parts, and this will be affect the total performance of the recuperator, and that is in form of loss of heat. Loss of heat means whatever heat we are getting from the main source, our objective is to maximum use of this waste heat for the purpose of second process. But if it is also lost in the duration of the transfer or the use in the recuperator, then what happen, the effective conversion will not takes place for the second process, and the recuperator efficiency is goes down. Now we have to discuss the recuperator, which is the metallic recuperator. The diagram of this recuperator I will give on your WhatsApp number or WhatsApp group, and here I will discuss the theory of this particular recuperator. So as shown in the diagram, you will see the diagram on the WhatsApp group. I will post that diagram, because this diagram is quite big and cannot be drawn on this board, so this will also time consuming. So I will just give the theory of that, and I will give this metallic radiation recuperator. This is the first one in the discussion of this course. This consists of two concentric lengths of metal tubing. The outlet hells is insulated, and the fins are provided on the inner shell to increase the heat transfer area. Means it is consist of the two outer shells of insulated with the thermal insulation, and this is having a concentric length of metal tubing. There are two tubes which are concentric. Concentric means one in other. So there is two walls will be there. One is the outer pipe is there, one is the inner pipe is there. So they are properly thermally insulated. So waste heat we are obtaining from waste gases from the main source through this particular type. Whatever points which are to be taken in this particular radiation recuperator, it is operate the waste temperature range up to 1000 to 1500 degrees Celsius. Means heat obtained from the main source, it is having temperature of 1000 degree to 1500 degrees centigrade. And when these enter to the recuperator, the preheat air, it is up to 600 degrees centigrade in this particular recuperator, that is called radiation recuperator. Now what is the point, what are the advantages of radiation recuperator over convection recuperator? This is that intensive heat transfer by radiation. So first point is that the efficiency is more because heat transfer takes place by radiation. Means there is no media required for that. Media is only air, not any other metallic media. So its efficiency will be higher. Then higher preheat. Preheat is also higher in this case. And the low temperature drop in flue gases inside due to large cross-sectional area. It is having large cross-sectional area in the inner part or the inner section, so the heat loss will be minimum, because of most of the flue gases are flowing in the air by radiation process. So minimum this larger area available for volume of gas, flue gas to flow inside the recuperator, so the losses are minimum. So as shown in the diagram, the two gas flow are normally in parallel form. The direction of flow of gas plays important role in energy saving. Heat transfer will be more efficient if the flows opposite in the direction. So in direction of flow of the heat, it is normally how it is to be done, that from the main source we are getting heat by pipeline and it is feed into the recuperator, and in recuperator the outer tube in which the flue gases are flowing with high temperature, and whatever the process heat you required for the second process, it is obtained inside the inner pipe. So direction of heat flow, if we can manage in opposite direction, that is one from bottom to top, and second is from top to bottom. Then the total heat cycle is completed around the external pipe, and due to that the internal pipe the heat transfer takes place maximum, and whatever process you are taking place for utilization of that waste heat, it will give you the maximum output. So for this when I will give the diagram, at that time you can understand that, in which one end, the lower end, it is the cold air is entered in the outer pipe, and from that this cold air will come in contact with the hot flue gases which are obtained from the main source, and this convert this cold air into hot air, and this hot air is supplied to the second process. Now second process, maybe I have told you, it can be used for baking purpose, maybe for heating purpose of some other product, so that hot air can be utilized for those purpose. Then there are certain diagrams in which the flow of this hot air and flue gases are shown. That is also given in the diagram, so I will give this diagram to you on the WhatsApp group. Now second recuperator is, that is the convective or tube type recuperator. In this tube type of recuperator, diagram will also I will give. In this the horizontal tubes are there, and from one end the hot waste gases are entered, which are obtained from the main source, and it is circulated through the pipeline, and this particular circulation will take place to heat the fresh air which is obtained from the atmosphere, and this is coming in contact with the waste heat gas, and have a high temperature, converted into high temperature, and the heated fluid, either you can move the fluid in this particular recuperator, or you can also flow the air. So when it is a convective type, so fluid is more efficient for this particular recuperator. As seen in the figure, the hot waste gases are carried through number of parallel small diameter tubes. The small diameter tubes are horizontal, and in horizontal formation the small tubes are there, while incoming air or cool fluid are carried surrounding the tube in the shell. So there is a complete shell is there inside, the number of tubes are there. In tubes the hot gases are flowing from the main source, and whatever fluid or air you want to heat for the second process, it is surrounding all the pipes or all the tubes. So the effective heat transfer will be there by process of convection. The shell tube type recuperator are generally more compact and have higher effectiveness than the radiation recuperator, because of the large hot transfer area, use of multiple tubes and multiple phases of the gases. Now this particular advantage of this convective recuperator is that its size is compact, first thing. Secondly, when we use number of tubes, then its area for transfer of heat is increased. It is compact in design, so it can occupy less space for installation as compared to the previous one. Means metallic recuperator, it is a large one, so its area required for installation is also more. But in this particular recuperator of convective type, you required less area for installation, and its design is compact, and effectiveness can be increased by direct convection takes place between the two media for heat transfer, so you can get better efficiency in this particular type of recuperator. So diagram of this recuperator also I will provide you on WhatsApp group. This is also a combined diagram. Then third type of recuperator, that is the hybrid recuperator. Hybrid recuperator means it is a combination of radiation recuperator and convection recuperator. Means there are two processes are used, convection and radiation. So radiation and convection when combined, then this type of recuperator is called hybrid recuperator. So in hybrid recuperator, combination of radiation and the convection are used for achieving the maximum effectiveness of heat transfer. So diagram of this is also very simple. In this there are two portions. The lower portion is the radiation section and upper portion is the convection section. So whatever heat we are obtaining from the flue gases or from main source, it is passed through both the section, from the radiation section and from the convection section. And fresh air or air to be heated, it is also passed through both the section. So in first section it catch heat in the from the radiation part, and in the second section it get the heat from the convection part. So definitely it is a hybrid one. So two processes are used for heat transfer, convection and radiation. So whatever heated air you required for the second process, it is having high temperature, and the temperature the useful for the higher temperature is, because of hybrid system we just double the efficiency of the recuperator, because previously we used single method for both, but in this case both the method are combined, so it exceeds the temperature of the heating. Or in recuperator you can go for the higher temperature, because main limitation of the metal recuperator is the temperature inlet of the inlet gases. That was in case of metallic recuperator. We can go up to 600 only. But in this case hybrid recuperator, the temperature can exceed to 1100 degrees centigrade because of the two sections, radiation section and convection section. So if the temperature exceeds 1100 degree of inlet hot gas, it reduces the life of the inner ceramic tube recuperator material, allow on the hot gas inlet inside up to 1550 degrees Celsius, and its preheated air is about 815 degrees centigrade. So whatever air you want to heat from this hybrid recuperator, its range goes up to temperature range goes up to 815 degrees centigrade, while in case of previous recuperator, metallic recuperator and convective recuperator, this range was only 600 degrees centigrade. So due to the advantage of hybrid system, you can go for inner temperature of the ceramic inside the wall up to 1550 degrees Celsius, and whatever air pass through these sections, it can get temperature up to 815 degrees centigrade. So there is a big difference of temperature. 215 degrees is a big difference of temperature is there. So this particular hybrid type of recuperator, it is most of the efficient type, and its design is also simple, because in two sections we have to split it, in one in convection section and one is radiation section. And this is in installation, it is a vertical, and one side from which we send the fresh air in it, and from one side we send the hot flue gases from the bottom. So this air from the atmosphere, it is entered in this, and this is heated up by the flue gases which is having temperature up to 1100 degrees Celsius, and the transfer of heat takes place, so that air temperature go up to 815 degrees Celsius. And this hot air of 815 degrees Celsius that can be utilized for any process in which this type of temperature required for production process in case of pharmaceutical industries, textile industries, then chemical industries or chemical plants. So this can be utilized for this. So this is the all about the heat recuperator. So today I will complete these three type of recuperator, and I will send the diagrams of all the three types on your WhatsApp group, so you can understand it properly. Whatever theory portion of this I have covered. Next time we will do heat exchanger. What type of heat exchangers are used for that, then we will discuss the comparison between recuperator and heat generator. So because time is sufficient, 40 minutes is over, so I will just finish my lecture of heat recuperator today, in which I have discussed three types of recuperator, and diagram I will provide to you. And those diagram, you have a practice of this diagram, because these are big size of diagram which cannot be drawn on the board. So I will directly provide you the drawing of this diagram, and next time we will discuss heat exchanger, and then we have a comparison between heat exchanger and heat recuperator. So for today this is sufficient. Time is of course 40 minutes lecture is sufficient to cover the portion, and it will also for you it is comfortable to watch this video and take the notes whatever I have speech on the in this video, and diagram you can take from the WhatsApp group. So for today it is all for today. Thank you.